What is up, everybody? My name is Hyken, and this is the Steelseries Prime Mini. This is an ergonomic shaped mouse, clocking in at a fairly reasonable $60 for the wired version of the mouse, and a completely unreasonable $130 for the wireless version of the mouse. I'm going to tell you right now at the beginning of the review, don't get the wireless version, it's not worth it. The wired version of the mouse weighs in at a respectable 61 grams, however the wireless version is going to weigh about 73 grams, depending on how charged the battery is. For comparison, the Razer Viper Ultimate, a mouse that's actually a little bit cheaper, is 74 grams. 73 grams isn't a terrible weight per se, however for $130, I really feel like you should be getting a better weight than that, at least somewhere in the 60s. We aren't even that deep into this review yet, and that's already two pretty big issues with the wireless version of this mouse. Hear me out though, the wired version does have some redeeming features. In the box, you get the mouse, the detachable USB Type-C cable, and a manual. Now, I did get the wired version of the mouse. I'm not going to spend $130 to buy the wireless version of the mouse, so this is just the contents for the wired version of the mouse. I'd imagine you get a dongle and a wireless receiver for the wireless version of the mouse, and maybe they slip in like $20 to $30 to at least get some of your money back for them. Anyways, I don't really have any complaints about the contents of the wired version of the mouse. You don't need an extra set of feet, although it would have been nice. I wouldn't have complained about that. But because it's a detachable USB Type-C cable for the wired version of the mouse, paracording won't require you to remove the feet to take the mouse apart to swap the cable out. You just simply plug in a different cable, and I really like that feature. The mouse features an ergonomic shape, which is going to give you a really nice palm grip for medium to small hands. Because of the smaller size of this mouse, you're also able to get a pretty respectable fingertip grip on it. However, I still prefer small ambidextrous mice over small ergonomic mice. Ergonomic mice always have this long sloped back, and that's not what you want with a fingertip grip. Relaxed claw would be fine with small hands, although with medium hands, I was kinda struggling with that grip. It just didn't feel great. Tense claw feels really good on this mouse though, because you have a lot of room for palm contact. I'll also go ahead and throw the measurements for this mouse up on the screen for you right now. All that being said, I just couldn't hit my shots with this mouse with fingertip grip. My accuracy definitely improved when I swapped to a palm grip or a tense claw grip, so I would definitely suggest using those grips with this mouse. Stay away from this mouse if you're going to try to fingertip grip it, and relaxed claw was so-so. Again, if you have small hands, you might be okay. If you have big hands, check out the full-size Prime mouse. This is the Prime Mini, so it's going to be suited towards smaller hands. The mouse features PTFE feet, but they are pretty mediocre. There was so much air trapped under these feet when I first took them out of the box that I legitimately thought that they were being held down by Velcro. The feet should be stuck right against the mouse to give you the most consistent glide. However, that is just not the case here. It did get a little better over time. However, in my bottom foot, there is still some air trapped in there, and I've been using this mouse pretty constantly for like 3 weeks. The feet also have rounded edges, so at least there isn't any extra friction from that. I will say that these feet are better than traditional Teflon feet, but really not by much. My favorite part of this mouse are these optical magnetic switches. There's Steelseries' own in-house switch, and they are super clicky, tactile, and very satisfying to use. Also, since they are optical, they do theoretically have a faster actuation time than a traditional mechanical switch like an Omron 20mm or a KLGM 8.0, but I couldn't really notice a difference while gaming. There is a pretty good deal of pre-travel on these primary mouse buttons, however the post-travel really wasn't too bad, and the side buttons are pretty much perfect. There's really no pre-travel or post-travel in them. I'm not really a fan of this scroll wheel though. It just sounds loud and crunchy. It does not feel good at all to use. The click on it's fine, but the actual scrolling itself, it just sounds awful. Here's a sound test so you can hear everything for yourself. Sensor performance overall here is actually really good. It's Steelseries' own True Move Air gaming sensor, and it feels really nice. Flick shots and tracking all feel really good. The pulling rate goes up to 1000 Hertz, so that's what I would expect. There was zero spinning out, nothing like that. Really solid sensor performance. On the bottom of the mouse, there's a button that cycles you through the DPI with a short press and the pulling rate with a long press. I really like being able to change that on the mouse itself, so you don't need to go into the software to tinker around. You can just plug the mouse in, hit the buttons a couple times to get everything dialed into your preference, and game. The cable here feels really nice too. There's practically zero drag. This is half the reason why I'm saying that you don't need to spend more than double the price of the wired mouse to get the wireless version of the mouse. The cable here is buttery smooth. And if you don't like this cable for whatever reason, you think that the solid black is too boring, you can just get a new paracord cable and plug it in. You don't need to disassemble the mouse in order to swap the cable. It's super easy. There is literally no reason to buy the wireless version of this mouse. And this is coming from somebody who greatly prefers wireless mice, all right? Save your money. Buy yourself a Twinkie or something with that extra like $70. Build quality is solid here. There is no bend, no flex, nothing like that, even on the bottom or the spots where other mice are traditionally fairly weak. This thing is built like a brick, and they accomplished all of that with a 61-gram weight, so that's genuinely pretty impressive. So far, finger oils aren't showing too bad, although there is a bit right where I'm resting my fingers on the left and right mouse button, so I anticipate that the rest of the shell will get worse over time, but so far, after about 3 weeks of use, it's not too bad. The coating itself does have a nice texture to it. It's matte, and it doesn't feel like it's going to go anywhere in my hands. As far as RGB lighting goes here, we just have the scroll wheel, and that's totally fine with me. I would much rather have a lighter weight than have a ton of fancy RGB. All you can do is a solid color option as well, which again, I honestly don't care about RGB, so that doesn't bother me in the least. I do wish that there was a way to use this button on the bottom, maybe like a double press to cycle through the different lighting effects. That way you just wouldn't need to download the software at all to do anything. But unfortunately, that's not the case. You will need to download the software in order to change what color the lighting is. In Steelseries GG software, you go into the engine section where you can cycle through button bindings, macros, what color the RGB is. Again, there's no effects, just the solid color. You can also adjust the DPI/CPI, whatever you want to call it, angle snapping, polling rate, and the acceleration/deceleration. I don't really suggest messing with the angle snapping or the mouse acceleration/deceleration. Generally, you want to just leave those off or at 0. But I guess you could screw around with them a bit if you want. I wouldn't suggest it though. This software covers all the bases here. There's really no complaints for me. Alright, so if you're looking for a decent palm grip or tense claw grip mouse, I think this one is, well, the very definition of decent. It's not amazing. I'm not loving it. It does have some flaws, like those terrible feet and the egregious pricing for the wireless version of the mouse. I don't know who thought it would be a good idea to charge more than double the price of the wired version of the mouse for the wireless version of the mouse. I mean, $130, you had better be getting a really, really good mouse for that price. And this is just not a really, really good mouse for that price. So stay away from the wireless version. If you want to check out the wired version, there is a link down in the description below. It's an affiliate link, so it sends a small commission my way at no extra charge to you. And I really appreciate the support. It helps me buy more mice just like this one. That being said though, I really can't give this mouse a full recommendation. If you do want to check out some other mice that I really like that are very similar to this one, check out the Pulsar X Lite Wireless and the Fantech XD5. That's also a wireless mouse. Both of them are well under $100 as well, so if you do want a wireless ergonomic mouse, check those out instead of spending $130 on the wireless version of this one. Alright everybody, that's going to go ahead and do it for me today. Thank you very much for watching to the end. I really, really appreciate it. Remember to hit that like button and that subscribe button on your way out. It really helps me out. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.